to the Future in Light. We are welcome to the Future in Light, where we meet formally, informal, to explore an area with experts. And Future in Lights will come to you every now and then to meet and discuss and dig deep in some of the topics related to whether it's medical education or development or even economic with education or anything related to the education. I'll say one of the eras nowadays, and one of the things that, to be honest, everybody talk about is AI, and it's invading everything now, and not only education, everywhere. And actually, medical education is a part of this world. It's invading, I'll say, medical education. Students use it. They are using the AI, and even the medical educators or the health professions educator, I would say. Today we meet, to be honest, to discuss the AI and medical education, I would say in general, and to go in depth in this kind of topic. Um, Actually, I'm honored today to have Prof. Rehan Ahmed Khan and Dr. Muna Sheikh, who actually both of them have a very good experience in AI rather than the medical education in general. I have personally many questions in AI, and I'm sure you have the same questions. Is it nowadays, after like 3 years or more or less of having AI around us, is it now it's an optional tool, or is it necessary for the medical educators? Is there any pedagogical principle behind it? Or even, is there any learning theories or of anybody conceptualize using AI in medical education? So, instead of myself and everybody as an audience here, I welcome Prof. Rehan Ahmed Khan and Dr. Muna Sheikh. Starting with the Prof. Rehan Ahmed, he is a dean in at Rifa Institute of Assessment, Rifa International University. He's a director for medical education, a head of our surgery department, and a professor at Islamic International Medical College. He teach and supervise master's students at in medical education at different places like Warwick University in UK and Lahore at Pakistan. He is a vice president for International Conference on Medical Education and chief editor of Health Professions Educator Journal. His main research interest is AI assessment and curriculum development. Prof. Rehan, he's based in Pakistan. I don't know where is he now, but I hope he can hear me now. I think he's in UK now. Prof. Rehan.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed, for a very generous introduction. And I'm so thankful for providing me this opportunity to talk about AI. And it's a pleasure to be with Dr. Monal Sheikh, who is also a visionary in artificial intelligence. So I look forward to a very healthy discussion today.
It will be an interesting for us. The second speaker or second, I'll say, guest is Dr. Muna Sheikh. She's accomplished academic consultant in higher education equality. She is an MBBS holder by background, and she has a PhD in physiology. Dr. Muna holds a master's degree in health professions education. She's a vice president for Saudi Society for Medical Education, and she's very expert in many areas in medical education, and all of that actually plays a key role in shaping the standards for the future of medical education in the region. So, I mean, I would start a question for both of you, Prof. Rehan and Dr. Mona, and I would give you like 5 minutes each to answer the questions that I already elaborate. Is it mandatory? Is it like any tool that IT tool, I would say, that we found as an educator, so we can use it to make our life easy, or it is today. It has to be in the toolkit of any educators in the medical field. So I'll give you like 10 minutes, both for 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Talk about whatever you want, and accordingly, we'll receive a question from the audience and personally have some questions. So who want to start? Just open the mic.
Yeah, if you allow me to start, Dr.
Yes,
Ahmed.
please. Yes, please,
I,
Dr.
I just want to tell you, I will start with why do we need AI? First of all, as educators, we have failed to do a few things. When we said that we are applying competency-based education, I have not seen till now in the region a program that actually applies this fully, where each student takes his own personalized learning pathway, or they have different trajectories according to their abilities when they started, according to their speed of learning and style of learning. We fail to ensure retention of information. We teach, but our students forget. We failed also to do adaptive learning, which is similar to what's embedded within the competency-based medical education. We failed to produce timely feedback, timely, constructive, meaningful, useful feedback. And this is present in every learning environment measurement that we can see. Students are, crying aloud. We are not aware of how we are performing. We don't know if we are fit for practice. Nobody is there to tell us where we are. And we fail to measure we know how to measure knowledge. We somehow know how to measure skills, but when we come to attitude and professionalism, which is the strongest determinant of success in the real life, in the healthcare, we fail to measure it properly. And we fail to predict failure before it occurs. So we have 6 major issues as educationists, and I think AI can bridge all of these. So what we are trying as educationists, we are trying to fit a huge, moving, rapidly growing creature into a rigid box. The creature is the AI. I was asked to give a webinar last October to the residents of the teaching hospital, University King Fahd University Hospital in Al Khobar. And I was asked what are the best tools for research. At that time, I told them you can use SciSpace, Consensus, and if you need to use a tool which combines the best of both worlds, the OpenAI and DeepSeek, then you can use Borium, Bhorium. Only yesterday, another tool was updated in a way which is illicit. We can talk about these tools later. I really don't like to mention tools because whatever we mention today is going to be different tomorrow. So they made an update to illicit, which makes it actually a great tool for systematic reviews. I've just finished a systematic review on AI integration into higher education. And we had like 995 articles. We did it manually. We did not use AI for the literature search. We had a librarian, but we had, we had 5 researchers, and each of us was screening those big number of articles to see which one fit the inclusion criteria. Now, Illicit can do that for you automatically. So it will get you the whole literature. It will separate them into inclusion and exclusion based on how you tell them. So we have predetermined competencies, we have predetermined learning pathways, which are very rigid, and we have pre-planned assessment strategies and timetable. How can we adopt or integrate AI into such rigid system? So we need to do a lot of transformation of our curricula before we even think of integrating AI. Other words, it's you here as an educator by the side of the river. You're watching the river flowing very fast, and some people are swimming there, and you have the choice either to dip, take the challenge, and swim in the river and reach wherever they are reaching, or cling to this tree on the side, which is your rigid curriculum and rigid teaching strategies. So I think we have to take the decision right now. And I think that AI is, we thought about it as a disruption of education, but I think now it's probably the handiest tool that can be a partner with us to help us bridge all the things that we have failed to do in the past. And we have to overcome the fear and this phobia of AI and forget about wasting time paying money to those softwares that will detect whether our students have used it or not, and just encourage using it. Let me give you an example, Dr. Ahmed. Let's say that you have an occasion in Riyadh and you want to invite me and Dr. Rihan. Normally, in an invitation, you just tell us the venue, you tell us the date, the time, and you tell us you can come on whatever time you want, right? You tell us, I expect you at this time at this venue. But let us say you go further and you say, okay, I want you to start from Dammam at 4 p.m. I want you to come by road and not by plane, not by air. And I want you to use a vehicle of this model, of this brand. And the vehicle should have a driver of this, nationality. So you determine everything to us. Nobody will come. On the other hand, if you leave it optional, I might like to come by plane and, bridge that. So this is what we are doing in our curricula. We are making everything rigid to our students, to the learners, to the degree that you are depriving them from their autonomy, from their accountability for their own learning. We want them to learn the way we want them to learn, and we want them to prove it to us. So, we have to sign everything they do and we have to check them, but they are all going in the same pattern. We don't give them the freedom to go according to the speed they want, the vehicle they like, and the strategy they like. I was asked by the vice president of academic to tell them about the ways we can integrate AI into curricula in Imam Abdurrahman bin Faisal University. And I searched the literature and I told them, okay, you can give it as a block, just like we have done with patient safety or with healthcare ethics. This was by, I think, Loomis. From experience, this doesn't work. If you just put a block course into a curriculum, it does not really mean that it's being applied or it's being utilized or it's even, augmenting your teaching practice. It's like if you are knitting a piece of wool and somebody tells you, I like the red color, and you just put the red color there. It looks ugly. It looks like a mistake. And this is what we have done, unfortunately, with some of the innovative additions to the medical curriculum. The other way is by, this one is 20, I'll give you this one I think is Erkin. In 2022, he said, we want to have artificial intelligence as a fundamental tool set of medicine, which means it will be given as a platform on which you can start your preclinical, clinical, and practice. So this can work. It will give them some foundation on which they can probably use it, but it does not ensure that it's being utilized. What I like and what I advise is that artificial intelligence should be a theme which is incorporated into each and every learning activity, each and every assessment, assignment, and so on. And we need to encourage students and unleash them to use AI because they are going to be different when they come to practice in the real healthcare services. If they are already skillful in using AI and skeptical and have their critical analysis of AI output, they will be much better healthcare practitioners. So it's something like this. You see the red color now is nicely being weaved into all the system. In order to do that, Taman, this is this is Loomis, yes, works. He said that there are steps in order to incorporate AI into curricula. But the major step is to develop competencies. So at that time, we had passed these 2 steps. The third step, he had defined 6 competencies. So now we know what we are looking for. We can easily incorporate it into courses, into curricula, and make sure that they are part of learning and part of assessment. So when Loomis said, not only that we have to include them in CLOs and PLOs, but also to assess for these kinds of outcomes. Now, this in JAMA in January, this is the latest article, 2025. They have actually went extensively and they have determined domains. They determined competencies and 178 outcomes for technology, including AI, into health profession curricula. So if somebody wants to really adopt, then this can be a reference for them. Now, I'm sure you are aware of the FACETS framework for analyzing the how much is or how technology or AI is incorporated, in which way. I will not go through it. It might take more time, but I'm sure you're aware of it. And the other one is called SAMR. SAMR means that you have two levels of cooperation. You can either do it at the level of enhancement, where it is merely an improvement of what we are doing at the moment, which is substitution, augmentation. If we go a little bit further, when we do transformation, then we are actually modifying the whole process, or we are redefining the process. And out of the 959 papers I have revised, 953 were only in the enhancement region, and only 5 were in the modification region, and only 1 was in the redefinition region, and it was not in health profession. So there were 5 that produced modification. I'm talking about higher education in general, not health profession. Only 3 were in health profession. At the redefinition, there was only 1, and it was not in the health profession. So what we are trying to say is that we need to see a future where AI is transforming our higher education, not just enhancement, not just as a substitution or augmentation. This is my call. Now, why did it not reach there? Because of resistance. There's a lot of resistance. Our system and curricula are very rigid. And although there's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of things are, a lot of obstacles are preventing us from reaching the transformation of higher education by the use of AI. These were some of the findings. We found that, this was the region. So Asia and North America were very similar, almost in percentage, a good proportion from Europe. And when we talk about specialty, the greatest specialty was medicine. Although we have included all higher education, medicine, because medicine we're not only caring about education per se, but we are also caring about healthcare and patient safety and practice. I think I will stop there. Maybe we can talk about the other things later. Thank you.
I think through the discussion, maybe we
Yes.
cover these areas. And Doctora, so far you cover most of my questions. So and I'm sure Dr. Rehan even will cover most of the things. Prof. Rehan, if you have something to say before we start discussion.
Just very quickly,
Please.
because what I'm going to share with all of you is regarding the most common questions which the educationists, they ask me whenever I present anything about artificial intelligence. So my aim here is just to give you some food for thought. I'm pretty sure Dr. Ahmed has questions and all of you have questions. So there's one thing, we all know that artificial intelligence is already here. The elephant, as shown by Dr. Mona, is there. We cannot ignore it. So what are the most common questions? I've divided these questions into 5 or 6 types. The fear question is, will artificial intelligence replace teachers and clinicians? I'm not going to answer it yet. I'm just going to leave it for you to ask more questions about it. But that's a fear question. Then there is a value question. Does artificial intelligence actually improve learning outcomes, or is just, decoration? It just, make you look impressive. That's the value question about artificial intelligence. Then there is a trust question. Can we actually trust artificial intelligence when it comes to making educational decisions or healthcare decisions? Then there is an ethical question, which is obviously, every time I deliver a session on artificial intelligence, I ask the audience, do you feel guilty after using artificial intelligence? And probably not to my surprise, 90% would raise their hands. So that's another, the ethical question. Is this ethical? Then is the competency question. So what is artificial intelligence actually useful for? There's many aspects which Dr. Mona has highlighted, and there are many other which you will be having in your mind and you would like to ask about it. And then the responsibility question. Like, who is accountable when artificial intelligence goes wrong?
Yeah.
So this was the responsibility question. Thank you very much. This is just food for thought for everyone. And please feel free to ask any question. And Dr. Ahmed, over to you. Your voice?
We can't hear you, Dr. Ahmed. I think you are muted.
No, he's not muted, but
Yeah.
there's something. Yeah, now it's fine.
No. I have an external mic, so the mic is muted. I said for Rehan, if you both you and Dr. Muna go through your questions, that will be a very good, tasty session to be asked for us, because most of the question you raise in your slides, it is in my paper as a questions, whether it's you mentioned the. Whether it's ethical or even whether it can improve the quality. Most of the things that you mentioned in your slides is really, really important. I want to hear from the audience if somebody has any questions or something, or I'll go with the some question that I have. So if somebody has a question, can raise hand. دكتورة إيمان. تفضلي دكتورة. Yes, please, دكتورة. Can you unmute and talk, please?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. دكتورة إيمان.
I'm very delighted to be with you again, and I'm asking about very annoying question for me. Is it ethical to raise a video made by Notebook LM with the logo Notebook LM? Is that accepted?
Can you say it again, please, دكتورة? By which tool?
Notebook LM with the logo, or any tool with the logo of the tool. I think it is honest from me to leave the logo by which I generate my video or my slides.
You mean if
But
you use the tool?
some people feel it's not my own slides or video.
Okay, we got it.
The logo is there because you did not pay. That's all it means. Just like when you
exactly.
take
but I think it is it's a matter of honest from the creator who leaves the logo of the tool helps to generate. It's my ideas, it's my changes, my generation, my creation, my prompt.
I got you, دكتورة إيمان. Usually, if you use a free tool, they put their logo just because it's free. If you pay, and they said, if you pay, we will remove the logo, remove the trial period, and these things. So
I think yes, I can pay. But when I pay, is that honest?
Well, I didn't. I mean, if one of the guests can reply to you, otherwise I have no answer. Dr. Rehan, I mean, well,
Sure.
دكتورة, yes, please.
So, Dr. Iman, thank you for this question. So, it is probably not about, the display of logo. It is more about, how and why are you generating that video actually. So, if that video is obviously for educational purposes, you have a sound source which can be, evidenced from the literature. When you generate that video, the instruction or the prompt which you use is covering all the aspects. You're making sure that the video which has been generated is validated by you as an educationist or as an expert. Then there is nothing wrong. I mean, as Dr. Ahmed said, if you don't want the logo to be displayed, obviously, then you need to pay for that. You may add a disclaimer that this video is not for, profitable purposes, or if you still want to, use the free version. But I don't see that there's any unethical thing here unless the the tool or the company which is providing you with that tool is limiting you to use for that particular purpose. Thank you.
If you allow me, Dr. Ahmed, I just prepared this slide just in case somebody would ask. And I thought, there are levels of ways in which you can utilize AI. You can just use it for, proofreading and language. In this way, you don't have to disclose it. If you do a little bit more where there is complete professional editing, then there are conflict. Like some people say, okay, you have to disclose it. Some people say, no, you don't have to. It's still language. Level 3, if you actually write sections of your manuscript or your thesis by AI, here, most journals and publishers or postgraduate coordinators, they will require you to disclose that. Level 4 is when the whole thing is composed by AI, and here usually this is not acceptable, and it will be rejected, whether it's a manuscript or a thesis. So these 4 levels have been recognized, and what you are talking is using a video. I know it's a little bit different. I think a video is a tool to illustrate your idea. So it is your own generation. So I will put it at level 2 or 3. So if you say, okay, if you disclose that you have used the AI to create the video, then that's good enough.
Good, Dr. خلود, Shadia. Yes, Shadia, please.
Assalamu alaikum, Professor Rehan and Dr. Mona. I just want to know, Dr. Mona, you just said that when a manuscript is being grammatically corrected or improved by AI-assisted tool, you do not have to disclose it. Level 1. This is what you said.
Yes. But level 2, which actually where you have actually done editing, clarity flow, and paraphrasing, there is a difference. Some journals, they say you have to disclose paraphrasing. Some of them say, no, we don't care.
Yeah, I agree. Paraphrasing is a level up as compared to the first level where only grammatical correction is being done, like we are using for Grammarly is being used, grammatical corrections are being done through it. But what ethically, I think even that has to be disclosed, that grammatical corrections and improvement in the language has been done through a tool. Because if that is not being disclosed, then many a times English is not native language for many of us. So it means that when we are writing, we might not be that skilled as the native person would be writing a manuscript. So improving it with the help of a tool, grammatically only, even that, I think ethically it will need to be disclosed that grammatic corrections or grammatic modification has been done through a tool.
I totally agree.
It's my take on it.
But let me ask you, what we used to do before AI? The journals themselves used to request that we go through a proofreading agency and do some editing and give the certificate of editing together with the paper. So editing and language proofreading is required, is needed. It's, as you said, language English is not our mother tongue language. So we are we might compose in a way that it will not be as clear as if it is edited by a native speaker of English. I don't know if Dr. Rehan has a different opinion, but I think language proofreading is unless طبعا في one trick and one problem we are facing. Grammarly has an AI component. And the problem there, if you use it and you think it's only language, when they use the AI detector, it actually detects it as being AI generated. And this is one problem. So you have to put off the AI part of Grammarly and just use Grammarly as a language editor.
I'll just add something to it. And obviously, I agree with what Dr. Mona said. Dr. Sadia, the difference here is that, are you trying to use artificial intelligence for generating something, which is like generative AI. As Dr. Mona also mentioned that before we came to know about generative AI, AI was already in practice. So for example, when Grammarly was, doing the editing work for you, it was actually, going through the data, analyzing it, and then suggesting the synonymous words or the different words for you, which you were using. And obviously, there wasn't a requirement for the declaration that I have used Grammarly or I've used the word editor. The concept comes here when we start using generative AI, when we start paraphrasing, when we start, writing the lines again. There you obviously need to declare it. Having said that, apart from the research, I mean, students also use it for writing assignments. And then it depends upon the university policy. Usually, the university policy is, many of the universities where I work, is that they consider using word editor and Grammarly as normal ethical use within the limits of what you are already using it. But if you use it for generative purposes, then you need to declare that was that within the ethical bounds or not. Thank you.
I'm glad you're asking that, Dr. Saadia. If you allow me, Dr. Ahmed, just one point.
Yes, please.
We need to go to the guidelines. As Prof. Rehan said, you look to the university policies. And when you publish, you need to look at the journal policy. There's a big difference. Some of them, they accept AI as a co-author. And some of them forbid its use totally. And they want you to disclose, even not use it at all. Even with disclosure, they don't accept it. So we have to go by the guidelines of the publisher or the university.
Yeah, I agree with you. So that means the ball is in the court of the curriculum developers, or we can say the policy makers of medical education, that we need to develop the policies regarding AI use very quickly, because the way it has invaded in everything, students and medical, the faculties and students and PGRs and postgraduate students, they are using it without any clear instructions about the ethical nature of using it and declaring it. And I have come across in IRB, I have come across proposals which are totally made of upon AI. And we have to reject them, and we have to tell them. But the thing is that it definitely needs to be handled very quickly, so that the use of AI becomes ethical. Thank you so much, Dr. Rehan and Dr. Mona.
Thank you, Dr.
Saudi
Saadia.
Arabia, I'm sure Dr. Ahmed knows, the policies have already been published by Sadaya, by the National ELC Center, and by the Ministry of Education.
Doctors, just one question, Dr. Rehan, do we have any policies in Pakistan as such? I mean, do you have in RIFA?
So yes, Higher Education Commission has given a draft policy. So there is a policy at the national level. And yes, we have a policy in RIFA as well, at least for the medical school.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Saadia. Well, the questions of Dr. Saadia is you can apply it for the whole medical education, although it's a part. But I can tell you now, people depend on AI, and they're replying LinkedIn. Even AI, I give you an option if you want to talk about something. He said, "Would you like it to make it as a post in LinkedIn?" So one of the journal in Saudi, actually, they said just declare, and it would be accepted for us to be for AI to be used in editing and these details. Dr. Rania Zaini, I wish Dr. Rania would take us back to the pure education. Yes, Dr.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam, Dr.
It's so nice just to see those big figures in medical education talking about really important topic. So thank you, Dr. Ahmed, for bringing them all. In this regard, just as you mentioned that to integrate the AI in the medical education, we need to work on the policy. So this is the role of organization, including university and higher education in general. But I think that is really important. What the AI adoptions in medical educations mandate that we have to upgrade the competency of the medical teacher themselves. So what is the tool or competency that's supposed to be aligned and developed within our own faculty to be able to integrate the AI successfully in our own educational programs? So thank you.
Excellent question, Dr. Rani. I don't know, Dr. Han, you would like to answer or?
Sure, I can start that with
Please.
that question. So whenever we talk about artificial intelligence and about integrating artificial intelligence into medical education, there are two main stakeholders. One is the students, another is the faculty. So we need to have faculty development when it comes to the understanding of artificial intelligence, and we need to obviously add modules or courses for students. I can share what we are doing at Rifa International University. So for the faculty, what we have done is that we have introduced 4 core workshops. So there's a workshop which introduces the use of artificial intelligence in education, the basic tools like using the generative large language models, ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, DeepSeek, and many other tools. Then the other one is its main role in assessment. So we do a workshop for them in which we teach them how to generate multiple choice questions, OSCEs, through artificial intelligence. We have 2 other workshops, and one is on providing a qualitative and a quantitative feedback. The use of AI in assessing the assessments or assignments. And the final one is on the use of AI in research. So combine all these, we're giving them, acclimatizing them with the main principles of artificial intelligence. There is a self-paced course as well, which is of 3 months, which the faculty can use. Now, regarding the students, Pakistan Medical and Dental Council has made compulsory that there should be 30 hours on the use of digital technology. So what we have done is we have added 10 to 12 hours for the students so that they're aware of how to use artificial intelligence for improving their learning. So we're talking about adaptive learning, and the ethical use of AI. So these are certain steps which we have taken at our workplace. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Dr. Han, can I just, because you mentioned something, although we have one session actually with 2 experts of assessment, they will talk about AI in assessment, one from Netherlands and one from UK. But regarding the assessment, you said, the how to generate MCQs, right? One of the part of your faculty development. So the students are very smart. And what I worry of is that the medical educators or the staff, they rely on AI because whatever you do, AI, to be honest, is usually more efficient than, I would say, more or less than a human in terms of writing, in terms of everything. Actually, I have personally an experience of giving a question to the AI, which I use in my exam. Actually, the AI gives me the right answer with analysis, and even changing the steam and the options to much better than the thing that I did. So what I really worry is that the faculty will rely much on the because I'll tell you something. One of the things that the staff usually worry when their questions go to the assessment unit or assessment committee, I would say, who is criticizing the question before going live. And then I'll use AI because AI is much better to edit my questions and take them to a higher level. But relying on AI, that will students will rely on AI, no doubt. They are smarter than the teacher mostly because they are the digitally natives, I would say. So how we can avoid this issue? One of my colleagues told me, he said, I give the AI a chapter and ask to generate questions for me. So if I can edit. And he said, I can't edit because my language is not better than AI. So I'm sure the students would do the same. This is really happened. And I'm sure there are many scenarios we came across with the same things. So, and you can't say, as Dr. Saida said, that most of the proposals now used AI, and those who are expert in AI, they can pick up the common words generated by AI. And now they develop something called humanizing the AI products. So if you teach actually train the faculty to use the AI, and the students, they will use it. How you can avoid these kind of issues? Like they might come up with the questions, and you know what I mean? This is one of the challenges, to be honest.
So, these are very important questions, and many, people ask these questions. And so, I've been answering these questions for a while now. So let's, dissect the many questions that you've asked. The
Please.
first thing is your worry is about the critical thinking. So if, the faculty start relying more on generation of the questions from artificial intelligence, so are they, compromising on their critical thinking? So there is a lot of literature published. It says that if you use artificial intelligence sensibly and with, on balanced grounds, it actually increases critical thinking. Let me give you an example. For example, if you, generate a multiple choice question, and there comes up some information which you're not familiar with, you can easily write that down, ask the large language model, it will answer for you. So there's a very quick answer. You're building upon your own information. So that means that you are critically thinking. Let's take another scenario. There's someone who gives a prompt to a large language model. It generates a multiple choice question, and you blindly, copy paste and send it across. This is an example where you're over relying on artificial intelligence and not validating it. So that obviously is going to decrease your ability to think critically, and you'll not be able to generate proper multiple choice questions as well. So what should be the proper approach? Number one, you have to go according to the blueprint. You use the blueprint properly. Then you have to give a very good instructional prompt. For example, a normal prompt can be, can you generate 5 multiple choice questions on acute abdomen? You are giving a free, a right to the AI to generate whatever the AI wants to, write for you. But if you give a prompt that think of yourself as a professor in anatomy who has got 10 years of experience, generate 5 multiple choice questions which are at the level of Bloom's taxonomy application of knowledge. Make sure that there are only 5 options. All the options are of the same length. There are no negative worded options, and you go on. So you make a very, I would say, a detailed prompt, and then you use a source which is a properly referenced book. And then once the multiple choice question is generated, you actually validate it. So one may think that if you're going through such a robust process, then what AI is doing for you, AI is decreasing your time. I mean, you see, the natural in a normal method, we will take at least 20 to 25 minutes to generate one good MCQ, whereas AI is generating that for you in a very, a lesser time. Yeah. So, it depends if you use it properly. And the other question is, I've never seen, an artificial intelligence, a large language model generating same questions for any prompt. So the fear, which is that if we are using AI, the students may also use the same prompt, they'll get the same answers. The chance probably is like 1 in a million. So that's not. And also, if the students go and look up for 100 multiple choice questions on one topic, so I think they have already
That's good.
mastered
That's very good.
that topic. Yeah.
This is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with Prof. Rehan. You know, I just want to alleviate your anxiety, Dr. Ahmed. AI will not have the same answer for everybody. So you have your own, yani AI has an idea of you. He knows what you're looking for from your previous memory and your previous requests. So they will reply to you differently from what they reply to a student or even to another faculty. So don't worry. And as Prof. Rehan said, if the student is really hardworking and he goes on and tries more and more and more, and he trains himself for all the questions that can be, constructed from a chapter or a PowerPoint presentation, then that's all we want. Let him train, let him come prepared, and that's good. But I just have one comment about item generation. You remember before AI, we used to use what is called as automatic item generators. I've never used them myself, but there is a lot of literature on them. And what the faculty did is, or the instructors did, is that they embedded the illness scripts within these automatic item generators, AIG for short. And the best I have seen, I've just reviewed an article where they have combined AIG with AI, and they found the best kinds of items which actually are digging for the key features of an illness, which is what we really want, the clinical reasoning kind of level of items.
Good, Doctor. I have many questions, to be honest, and I'm just looking for Khulud.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for this informative session. I just want to ask about to which level is accepted and ethical to use the AI for proofreading in the personal statement writing. As I want to apply for a master program, and I want to use AI for proofreading on such issue. If it is not declared in the official website of the university, is it ethical to use it? And if I use it, should I declare this, make a disclaimer, or I wanted to know what is the impression about such student, unknown student for the selection committee.
Let me answer this if you allow.
Sure.
So, AI plagiarism is a topic which is, I think, widely debated, and there are no acceptable, I would say, norms till now. What's the reason for that? When we talk about, similarity index, which is like, seeing that if you've copy and pasted from someone else's work, that be either from an article or someone's assignment, what the software does is it checks across the literature and the previous assignments and then tell you that your similarity index is of this percentage, which means that if you are going above 19% or from a single reference more than 5%, it is considered as intellectual dishonesty. Whether you declare or you don't declare it, if it is detected, then you have to reduce it. When it comes to artificial intelligence, the things are different. The reason for that is because AI is not copying from any source. AI is generating on its own. But still, if you're claiming AI's work as your own, then obviously it is, again, cheating. It is, again, intellectual dishonesty. So what should be the norm and what is being detected? Just to tell you how is AI being detected? AI is detected based on certain pattern recognition. Like certain words like leverage, for example, is being used by AI very frequently. Then there is a lot of repetition of ideas when you generate something through artificial intelligence. There are long sentences. And at times, in a very small paragraph, the information is given so concisely that probably humans can't do that. So these are certain patterns which are detected by AI softwares. But what if you are actually that good? What if your writing style is like artificial intelligence? Should you be punished for that? So these are those questions for which different universities, different research journals have their own policies. So they define that, for example, in one of the universities where I work, it has completely said that you have to give disclaimer for every assessment, for every assignment, or for every research, whatever you submit, that have you used AI ethically or not? So they tell you what is the ethical use. And then there are universities which ask you to share the prompt or the instruction that you have used to generate whatever work you have done. Based on that, they decide that whatever work you have done, if they match all those patterns, then your work can be referred to a committee. And the committee may call you and then ask you and then judge whether your work is AI based or not. So AI, if used in support to enhance your learning or writing, probably will be fine by many institutions, but don't consider it as a replacement. So that would be my answer to your question. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to add, if Dr. Khulud, if you have written your own idea as a personal statement, and then you asked AI to proofread it or make it more linguistically appealing or more sound linguistically, that's okay. But my advice to you, if you do that, you can use a humanizer. Just do it and humanize the text. So if they detect AI, they will not think that was totally generated by AI. But if you go to AI and say, write a personal statement for me for this, then this is not accepted. It's not ethical because it's not your idea. It's not coming from within you. And I think you won't feel it is generated by you. I think that's the red line between these two practices.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Muna. That is why I ask it, because a personal story cannot be done by AI. And as you said, Dr. Ayhan, if I let AI, it will gonna generate and create stories for me. But my question was that is it just for proofreading and humanizing it and reordering the ideas? And I really thank you for this.
I will add to that. Probably, if you ask me, I probably would have a bit of hawkish approach. I would say you need to declare that. You see, because when I was doing my PhD, and I'm not a native English language speaker, we asked that you need to take help from, for example, someone who is proficient in English writing, and then we acknowledge them. We add to our research papers that this paper was actually reviewed and paraphrased. Because even if the idea is your, it is fine that you ask AI to generate in terms of linguistics, but you have to declare that this wasn't your writing.
Okay, thank
Very
you.
good. Very good. Let me back to the AI and faculty and so what do you do, Prof. Rehan? You mentioned you do faculty development. What do you do with those who are not accepting the idea? Because previously there were like certain people, they are not accepting the technology. Now there are few people that are not accepting AI. I know my senior colleagues in the work, they are not accepting AI, and they said that will take our information and they will be used. So how you deal with those who are not accepting AI? I mean, in many ways, and this is one of the questions came from the text.
So this is a question of change management, and whenever there is something new, specifically which is disrupting innovation, changing all your your viewpoints, and is asking you to come out of your comfort zone. Obviously, there are people who would not like to do that.
Yeah.
So
What if that guy is the dean of the college?
tough luck, I would say, but having said that, well, it depends what your role is. I mean, even if you are junior to that person and you have good leadership skills and you know how to bring change management, then probably it is not difficult. Obviously, the change which is top down is easier to be implemented. The change which is bottom up is difficult, but not that, just let me give you an example. 15 years back, we at our institution decided to change the discipline-based curriculum to integrated curriculum. And I can tell you it was a nightmare. So, we had this whole process of changing the whole institution. So, you go to your seniors, you try to convince them, you bring up the benefits of how to use them. For many people, they understand this. And the ones who don't understand, they actually understand it after a while. I've seen people going completely against the integration. And now, many years down the road, they have understood that it is not, easy for them. And integration was not that a big disruption, I would say. AI, I don't know how people would, go without the balanced use of artificial intelligence in times to come.
Yeah.
Dr.
You
Mona, you
know,
have comment?
Dr. Ahmed, what was the first disruption of education in
Yeah,
history?
PBL.
Go back. Huh?
Okay, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
No, just tell me. What do you think is the first disruption of education?
I don't
I'm
know.
talking history, real history.
Yeah, I don't know.
Writing. When
Okay.
people started to write, everybody thought that nobody will use their mind because now they can put everything on paper.
Okay, get
And
it.
look at, can we do now without, we are even beyond writing now, but I'm just saying, you have lived through the calculator. We were forbidden from bringing the calculator to the college or to the school. And we were forbidden, they used to, look in our pockets and everything if we had a calculator hidden there or there. So it is, as Prof. Rehan said, it's a time factor. The sooner we get beyond this apprehension and phobia of AI, the sooner we can develop. It's like the river I showed you in my slide. We need to dip into the river and just flow with it. Otherwise, we will be just left aside and everybody will go beyond us.
Totally agree. How many questions? Actually, I can tell. Prof. Rehan, you are answering the questions. So you're
Yeah,
making my life
thank you.
easy. In the text, I can see in the text. So Jazakallah khair for this. What do you think the future of AI in medical education? Where are we going? What do you think? If you compare it with the last few years when it's AI started, and if you see the development, the very fast development of AI in all aspects, where do you think we are going? Where we're going to reach? So what I hope is I remind you next year, inshallah, with this lecture, with your vision about what's going to happen and after 1 year. And I'm sure we will go much farther than we are at the moment in AI. If you compare AI with the last month, to be honest. So what do you think, Dr. Mona? What do you think in
I
relation
think,
in relation to medical education?
True. I'm not talking about the technological part where the AI tools and development and update is going on it's by engineers. But I think from our point of view, our faculty are going to be having a different role altogether. Out of the 12 roles by Harden, we are going to have new roles. Our faculty will be creating algorithms, will be able to do predictive analysis. They will be able to apply adaptive pedagogy and we will have different personal trajectory to each student, which we call as precision learning or precision education. AI will allow us, we know that this is the best thing, but we were not able to do it on our own. AI is going to help us do that. We will have adaptive assessment. Now, I know that in the Saudi medical licensure exam, they are debating whether to have a component which is adaptive to the actual licensure, fixed component. So this is the future is skyrocket. And if you remember what I told you about our research that we found in our systematic review, that most of the adoption of AI into higher education curricula was at the level of substitution or at the level of augmentation, which is just enhancement. We want transformational AI. We want AI that can modify totally how we learn, how we teach, how we assess, and how we practice. For example, we are talking about interprofessional education. Have we been able to apply interprofessional education in the health profession? No, because our curricula are rigid. Each college have their own dean, have their own program, and they are not. But with AI, probably we can, create platforms that will allow us to do interprofessional education, interprofessional collaborative practice, and care even. So, if you talk about research, then, it's a completely different story. I think systematic reviews are going to be done like that. We will have evidence which is created very quickly, and we can do umbrella studies where, systematic reviews of systematic reviews. So we'll have evidence created about education, more present in our hands. We can predict failure of students before if it even occurs, and we can remedy it. So like we said with, healthcare, we are not treating, we are preventing. Here, we will not be also treating the failure, but we'll be preventing it, inshallah. And we will be gearing our education towards the market need, towards the healthcare need, towards our community. So it will be personalized medicine or precision medicine, not only for the learner, but also for the community and for the healthcare needs.
Inshallah.
So I'll quickly add something to it.
Yes. Now take your time, please.
Okay, fine. So let me first paint a gloomy picture. I mean, said, what AI can do in the future. So I was just discussing this with someone, and they said, if we're already talking about humanoids, and we have these robots who can do a lot better than us, like having human features and everything. So, they are way smarter than us. I mean, 6 months back, I checked, ChatGPT IQ was 200 plus. So if you have those human robots going to classes, delivering lectures, asking, answering questions, who are way smarter than humans. So what are we, thinking about? Like, what is like? Would it be like completely? Would they be completely replacing the educators or the teachers, and the task being demonstrated by them to humans? So this is one aspect. I mean, think about it. This is one possibility. But what I see is, obviously, when there is a disruptive innovation, there are certain regulations, policies, procedures which have to be implemented. The first thing which I see, which I would like to have the future of medical education as far as artificial intelligence is concerned, is that we should first, there should be an acceptable artificial intelligence. There should be a reasonable artificial intelligence. So 1 year down the road, we should not be discussing that should we do this, should we not do this, because we don't discuss anymore should we use Google Scholar for literature search. We don't discuss should we use PubMed for clinical research. These are acceptable norms. So my hope is that 1 year down the road, we should have reached to a consensus that this is acceptable artificial intelligence. And now let's move in the right direction. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Just
and
give me
One
a
thing more, Dr. Ahmed, if you allow me, and as a reviewer for the, the health profession curricula programs and institutions, I actually would like to see the day when quality or accreditation of programs is predictive rather than retrospective. Now, when we accredit a program, we look at their performance in the last 2 years. Who can assure us that their performance in the last 2 years are going to be the same for the following years? So if I want to enroll my kid or my boy or my girl into a program, I'm basing my conclusion on their past. But I wish we can do predictive accreditation, like we actually have algorithms that can predict their KPIs in the next 2 years rather than the previous 2 years. And then we can base our accreditation on futuristic perspective. So there's a lot of improvement that can be done if we really apply and employ AI in the proper way. We just need expertise. What we are lacking now is expertise in our accreditors and
from education point of view.
Exactly.
AI expertise, they are there in the market.
Oh yeah.
From education. Yeah, from education point of view, I totally agree.
Us as faculty or as people who are adopting AI into the system.
Excellent, very excellent. We spend 1 hour, which is just run like this. Thank you very much indeed. both of you, Prof. Rehan and Dr. Muna, and I think you should give me a promise. We will go in depth with such a session in the coming few months, and I'm sure many things we mention now we will mention it later on, inshallah, with
Differently.
with what will be differently, and even
Different
we'll have
lens.
policy and these things. I mean, thanks for the audience who are almost more than 200 actually, who post the questions and inform the session. But sorry if I don't take some of the questions live to the experts. So thank you again, Prof. Rehan, Dr. Amuna, for the very informative session, which is, it's not sure, I mean, it's not enough. Hour is not enough. I mean, which I realize now. So we need more than 2 hours, I'd say, later on, which is, we'll plan it later on, hopefully. Thanks again for being with us in a future Enlight. And the coming session will be on AI with assessment. I'll have with me that day, well, I have Carlos from Netherlands, who is based in Brazil, I think, who's one of the experts in progress test. And I have Majid Wadi from Dundee University and Dundee Medical Education Center. We will talk about AI in depth, which is related to assessment. And I hope by that time, which is going to be a month from now, many of the questions will be clarified and available over that. Thank you very much indeed again. Thanks for the audience. The session is recorded, by the way, so it will be on YouTube one day. I don't know if somebody raising hand. Hey, Dr. Amuna.
I just want to conclude with one statement that our students are eager and hungry for AI. They are beyond us. So we are the one lagging behind. We and the system. I mean, some faculty are very enthusiastic, but they are held because of the system, rigid curricula. So we really need to pick up. You know, I was giving a lecture to physical education. What's the name for that? Physiotherapy, sorry, physiotherapy. And one of the students, it was only second year, I was giving a physiology lecture. And after this, she said, I created a program using Python to do something. And I said, what? She said, I have learned this outside the university. So our students are surprising us with their knowledge and expertise in this area. They will not be the limit. This is what I'm trying to say. The limit is administration, the curriculum, and our expertise and skill and fear of AI. So we need to really overcome that, hopefully.
Totally agree. Thank you so much, Dr. Amuna. Prof. Rehan, if you want to say something before we finalize the session.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. I think it was a wonderful session. I really found it very engaging. And I think the questions asked were the ones which probably will answer many queries, common queries. And hats off to you for starting this exercise. And I think all your sessions are going to help in what you said, that how do we bring this change? Thank you.
Inshallah. Jazakum Allah khair. We'll see you in the coming session, bismillah, which is AI and assessment in medical education or education in general. Thank you very much indeed for giving us 1 hour of your time. Thank you both, Prof. Rehan and Dr. Amuna. See you next time. Jazakum Allah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam. Allah Hafiz.